So today I'm going to show you how you can do basic prototyping in Figma. And the first thing I'm going to show you is to link this button to a different screen. So we want to go to the top right hand corner and click on this prototype tab over here. Once you have done this, we will activate the prototyping functions. So I'm going to go into this grouping over here. I'll click into it. Sometimes you have to double click in order to get to the button. And the moment you get to the button, you'll see when you mouse over the button, you'll get all these round circle nodes. What you want to do is you want to click, drag and pull. Okay, so something like this, click, drag and pull to the next screen. And the moment you've done that, this pop-up will appear. And how do you read this? So basically what it says is that on click, that means if I click on this button, it is going to navigate to page 1 in an instant. That means the change is going to happen right away. So that's what it means. That's the logic behind it. So now we're going to test it. One is you can preview prototype by clicking on this frame over here and pressing shift spacebar. What happens is that you will create this preview window which you can then view your prototype. So you can click on the button and there you go, it gets to the next page. Okay, so the other way is that you can actually press or click on the play button located on the top right hand corner of the screen, which is located here. So you can click on the play button and immediately it will create a full-size mock-up for you to see. Okay, so I click on this and it goes to the next page. Okay, so it will appear as a separate tab. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next part, which is to create overlays. Now you may understand overlays as pop-ups or sliders, when you navigate a website. So I'm going to show you how we can create one. Same thing, I'm going to use this button. I'm going to pull this into the screen that I prepared over here, which is the overlay. So on click, instead of navigate to, I'm going to change this to open overlay. So you can see the icon slightly different. But it's going to come in as a dissolve, okay, or an instant. So instant is right away, dissolve kind of ease into it. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to select the ease in and ease out. I'll set it at 300 ms and let's give it a look. So I'm going to select this, shift space bar, I'll click on the button and you can see it appears very nicely here. So it kind of slowly comes into view, which is not quite what I want, but I just wanted to show you the dissolve effect. So I'm going to go back to this settings by clicking on this strand here called a noodle. I'll click on this. Now instead of having it to dissolve, I'm going to select move in, okay, because it's going to be a kind of like a slider movement. I'm going to move in towards the left and it's going to appear on the top right. So again, let's take a look and see how this looks like. I'll select the screen, shift spacebar, click on the button, and there you go. It moves in very nicely and this is exactly what I want. So in order to get this to close when I click on the outside, as some of the sliders do, you have to click and check on this box over here. You may even decide to add in the background. Let's take a look and see how this looks like with the background. Okay, add to cart, and can you see it comes in very nicely. It needs to be a bit longer, but you can see everything is blacked out. This is now in focus, and if I click on the outside, it returns. Now the next thing I want to show you is this thing called pop-up. Now pop-up is very similar, so I'm going to select this page instead, okay, because I want this pop-up to appear maybe a couple of seconds after I'm in on this page. So I'm going to drag this to a pop-up. Okay, same thing on this panel. Instead of on click, I'm going to select after delay. So after some time, this pop-up will appear. I'm going to keep it at 800 ms. All right. Instead of move in, I want this to dissolve. So remember when we select dissolve, it kind of slowly appears. So that's what it's going to do. So let's have a look. Okay, so now you can see this whole thing comes in exactly like that, but then it sort of covers up the entire page, which isn't what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go back into the settings. I click on this strand over here. So after delay, it's going to navigate to this page, and this is the problem. So it's going to jump from this page to this page. So instead of doing that, I'm going to get it to open and overlay instead. I'm going to get it to center. I'm going to get it to close when clicking outside. Sometimes you may wish to add a background, which you can do. So let's take a look. There you go. All right. So of course you can click on the background and this disappears. So what's nice is that if you add in a bit of a drop shadow, so if you click on this, go back to the design tab, at the bottom over here you click on drop shadow, and what you want to do is you want to make this a lot bigger, say 10, the blur a bit bigger, 10, maybe spread it 10. Okay, so when you view it, it kind of pops up. There you go. I can make this shadow a bit better, so I can get it to spread a bit better, but I think you sort of get the idea. So that's how you do a pop-up. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about prototype variants. Now prototype variants, basically mini interactions that you can get with your components. So things like button hover effects, downfill. Okay, these are things that you can prototype. So remember in the previous lessons where we talk about variants, so this is how you can prototype the variants within Figma. The first thing I want to do is I want to go back into the prototype tab. I'll double click on this. Can you see it has some effects over here like while hovering, after delay, and then when you click on this it gets to this. So we're going to take a look. All right, I'm going to select this, shift space bar. Can you see when I hover over the add to cart button, it sort of turns into a light pink, and if I click on it, it becomes black as it should be, and then it returns back to pink again. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to do that. So these are the interactions, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to select this button here, and you're going to drag this to the second button like so. Instead of on click, you want to set it to while hovering, and you want it to change to that. Then just like this, okay, while hovering it clicks on this, and then if you click on this button, you get it to change to black. So just like that, can you see? On click it changed to that. So in order to get from this state back to the original state, you need to add a delay. So just like this, what I've added in here. So I'm going to select this button, I'm going to drag this node back to the original one. Instead of on click, I'm going to change it to after delay. So maybe I can make it even quicker, so 300 ms for example, and there you go, you set up the interaction. I'm going to switch back to the design tab, so I'm able to copy and paste out this button, and let's take a look. So you can see it hovers and you get the hover effect. I click on it, it becomes black, and then it changes back to the original button. Alright, so that's what you do to create a simple button hover effect. Now the next thing is a simple drop down fill like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to prototype this. So what we can do is we can go to the prototype tab and add these two interactions to it. On click it changes to this, and on click it changes back. So let's take a look at how it looks like. So you can see you can get a very simple drop down fill effect. It's not the best, but it kind of illustrates the whole idea of how we can prototype variants. And last but not least, we're going to go and talk about scroll behavior. So for scroll behavior, basically there are a few things that I'm going to teach you, one of which is a menu anchor link. So a menu anchor link is when you click on one of these menu anchors, okay, and it will kind of scroll all the way down to say this section over here. So let's go and start prototyping this. The first thing you want to do is you want to click into the button itself, and then I'm going to zoom out here to get a bit more space. I'm going to click and drag all the way to this section over here. So on click, Figma automatically attempts to guess what you're trying to do with that button, and it'll say, okay, scroll to rectangle 8960, which is this section over here. And it's going to do it in an instant. So let's take a look and see what that effect looks like. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to preview it. So now the button's clickable. If I click on this, can you see it straight away jumps to this section? Now, of course, the effect can be made a lot nicer if I click on this box over here and I choose animate instead, and I add in kind of like an ease in and ease out animation to this. So let's take a look at how that looks like. Click on this. Can you see now it changes to this, and it looks like you're traveling to that section as how an anchor blocks should be. Now the next thing I want to show you is to create a simple scroll behavior. I'm going to make use of these cards that I have in this section over here. What if sometimes you have more than 3 cards, for example, and you want like a horizontal scroll effect? So I'm going to show you how to get that done. What you want to do is you want to select all of these cards. I'm going to create an auto layout. So I'm going to press Shift A or click on this button here. So once I've got an auto layout grouping, I want to select one of the cards. I'm going to copy and paste. So I get additional cards. And then I'm going to drag this frame all the way in like that. And I'm going to select on this button over here called Clip Content. And this will cut off whatever excess that I have. And then when I go to Prototype, under Overflow, I'm going to select Horizontal Overflow. So I'm going to show you what effect that gives you. So it allows you to scroll sideways, and the frame hides everything beyond that. So you are able to have this sort of overflow scroll effect. So that's the whole idea behind this. Now finally, we're going to talk about menu and how I can make this menu kind of like a fixed position menu. So I'm going to go into the menu like that. I'll select that entire menu. Instead of scroll with parent, I'm going to get it to fixed or stay in place. Let's take a look. So now that when I scroll, the menu is always in focus, is always on the screen. So that's something else that you can achieve with scroll effects. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.